So Richard Dreyfuss, who is a very prominent actor and has been in some major motion pictures such as Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, was recently in an interview and absolutely slammed the new diversity requirements for Oscar contentions of Best Film. It says here, quote, Richard Dreyfuss slams new diversity requirements for Oscar contention, saying, quote, they make me vomit. Now, before we get into the article, if you could, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me and helps the channel very much. In the interview, he says, it's an art. No one should be telling me as an artist that I have to give in to the latest, most current idea of what morality is. What are we risking? Are we really risking hurting people's feelings? You can't legislate that. You have to let life be life. I'm sorry, I don't think there is a minority or a majority in the country that has to be catered to like that. Now, obviously, once these comments came out, the internet has blown up about this, and they're calling him racist. Now, I don't agree with that. I think what he's saying is true. When it comes to these diversity requirements for Best Picture, that's absolutely absurd. And a lot of movies in the past that have won Best Picture at the Oscars would have lost if they didn't check these little boxes. And I'm going to go into that real quick to explain to you exactly what needs to be checked in order for a movie to now win. So it says here that 2 of the 4 standards need to be fulfilled in order to be submitted for Best Picture. And those 4 standards are described as expanding on-screen representation, themes or narrative, expanding representation among creative leadership and department heads, providing industry access and opportunities to underrepresented demographics, and expanding representation in audience development. Now, again, I think a lot of that is absurd. Best Picture should win Best Picture for the story and how well it was performed and created. The diversity aspect should not matter. It shouldn't matter if the entire film was done by black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, white people, or mixed. It shouldn't matter. If it's the best film, it's the best film, and that's the end of the day. Now, he continues in this article and says some other comments that kind of have me thinking about some things, and I want to get your thoughts on this. So Dreyfuss' comments continued with the defense of Laurence Olivier performance in the 1965 feature Othello, in which the English actor played the Shakespeare lead in blackface. Now, I have never seen the 1965 version of Othello. I've seen the 1995 version with Lawrence Fishburne. Amazing story. Lawrence Fishburne killed it and did an amazing job. I definitely recommend you watching that and reading the book if you never have, because it is a great story by Shakespeare. But he continues to say, quote, he played a black man brilliantly. Am I being told that I will never have a chance to play a black man? Is someone else being told that if they're not Jewish, they shouldn't play in The Merchant of Venice? Are we crazy? This is so patronizing. It's so thoughtless and treating people like children. Now, if you've watched my channel long enough, you know that I am prominent about staying true to the source material as much as possible. I 100% stand by that and agree to it. I do understand what he's saying because we have seen many other examples where race swapping actually works. And here's a really good example. Marvel's Nick Fury. Nick Fury in the comics has always been white. Always. But I will say this, Sam Jackson does a fantastic job as Nick Fury's portrayal, at least in my opinion. I don't really have that big of a problem with him being Nick Fury. The main issue that we have, I think, in general with race swapping and not staying true to the source material is when it's done just for the sake of diversity, when you're just checking a box, when you're doing it just because. When you're doing it just for the sake of that, that's where a lot of people have an issue. I prefer staying true to the source material, but at the end of the day, if you have a really amazing actor that you think can portray the role very well, then I think they should be given a shot. If it's being done just for the sake of diversity and not because it's going to carry the story or make the story better, then I think that's where a lot of people have the issue. We'll use another comic book movie as an example. Tom Hardy did not play a very good Bane, in my opinion. I don't think Tom Hardy should have been Bane. I think we definitely could have got another actor in there. We could have got a better look for Bane, and that character should have been more true to the source material than it was. Another example is Marvel's Blade. I would never really want to see a white Blade. Blade has always been a black man. Blade should stay a black man. And I think Wesley Snipes did a fantastic job in that movie back in the day. I don't think anyone's really going to be able to top that, to be honest. But I want to know what your thoughts are because I think it brings up a very valid point. And I think the answer is somewhere in the middle ground. If you're race swapping characters just for the sake of race swapping them, that is a poor choice, no matter what the race swap is. I think you should try to stay as true to the source material as possible. If you are going to race swap, then the person portraying the character has to have a home run performance. Because if it's not a home run performance, and it's not the best actor for the job, then I feel like they're just doing that to check a box. And I think you're just hurting the story at that point. So let me know in the comments below what you thought about this article, what you think about his statements in general, and what do you think about the new diversity requirements. I always love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. I would appreciate it as well. And until next time, as always, take care.